Hello again. So yesterday I did a video about Egypt and CC, and soon after that, last night, UN voted for its this resolution, which basically includes all of the language that the Palestinians have ever dreamed about, wet dream territory. And I'm standing here just outside Kfar Saba. Kfar Saba is just over there, and behind me, those hills that are behind me, hard to see today, I guess I'll turn the camera around in a minute. The hills behind me, Oronit sits on those hills, and Kfar Kesem and a couple of other places just before the hills. But those hills 3-4 kilometers behind me, that is where the 1949 armistice line, the line that we fought up until with the Arabs. The noise you can maybe hear is a massive judo competition going on in a sports hall just over there. And that's the line that we fought until. That's what we held when we were all exhausted. And so we put down the weapons, and the Jordanian army sat on the hills behind me, 3-4 kilometers away from me, basically almost sniper range, definitely mortar and shelling range. So all of where I'm standing now, it was massively endangered by Jordan and them. Now where I am is, I'm about a 10-minute drive from my home in North Tel Aviv, and I live 1.5 kilometers from the sea. So all in all, I'm standing right in the narrowest part of Israel, if you want to regard the 1949 armistice line, not a border, it was an armistice. It has no international standing, that line. It's just where we fought till. And the Royal Jordanian Army, with the backing of the British, who voted yesterday for this ridiculous, absolutely atrocious UN resolution, that resolution, with the British help and all the other countries have voted for it, it designates the 1949 armistice line as something of an international border, which it never ever has been. And the Palestinians, in all of their negotiations, have never really regarded that line as important. They never really regarded settlements as important until Obama convinced them to do that. And so now they've enshrined into the articles of the UN this 1949 line. It isn't even there mentioned in the famous Resolution 242. It just said that borders need to be negotiated. And here we are now in danger. Massive, massive danger. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen. We're going to probably build the crap out of the land over there, which is what we should have been doing anyway. And we should just tell the world to get stuffed, because what do we need them for? This is the same UN in the morning yesterday could not agree a resolution to stop arms flowing to a genocidal regime in Sudan, because all of the good genocidal dictators in the world have got the backing of one of the veto powers. Now, up until yesterday, Israel had the backing of one of the veto powers. We used to have the backing of America. But yesterday, when the magnificent Obama, the snake Obama, when Snake Obama decided to instruct his woman there, Ambassador Powers, to not veto, i.e. to abstain. I mean, he couldn't even vote for it. This is the moral repugnance of the man, and his absolute cowardice. He couldn't instruct but if he believes in this resolution, and it, by all means, it looks like he pushed it to the table. He made Egypt table it, then Egypt withdrew it, or withdrew the vote, I think under pressure from Trump, because they know what's coming. And then somehow these 4 others, Venezuela, New Zealand, Africa place, I don't care, these infamous places, their names should be stricken, brought it back to the table. Well, go, make your resolutions. You couldn't even stop arms flowing to genocide in Sudan, and now you're going to tell Jews where we can build homes on our indigenous land, which is over there. This is indigenous Jewish land just behind me, those hills, indigenous Jewish land, same stuff. I'm keeping the language clean today. Anyway, that's just what it is. I thought I'd show you. I'm standing here. I'm within mortar range of where the UN would like to put another Arab army, you know, ISIS basically, because one day it's the Palestinian Authority, the next day it's Hamas, and the day after that it's Islamic State. And that's great for everybody, right? No. Bye-bye, UN. Hopefully Trump will come in and take away about 20% or 25% of your funding, and you will collapse. Because the UN is an organization which has accepted into its instruments, it's accepted something called the Cairo Declaration of Human Rights in Islam. Go look it up. The first line basically says God made Islam the best nation. And it basically awards human rights selectively and discriminatory to people on the basis of piety. The most pious being male Arab Muslims. Those are the people granted the most rights. It's a comparative document. This document, the Cairo Declaration on Human Rights, invalidates the entire UN. The day that they signed that into their instruments, which I think was under the tutelage of an Irish woman, the day that that became part of the UN and the Arab countries were allowed to choose the Cairo Declaration of Human Rights instead of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we should have left the UN. All good nations, all good democratic, Western, Christian-based and other nations should have left the UN because it is now a washed-up, useless organization. Anyway, that's enough for me. I've got to go inside. My son will be throwing other children around soon, I hope, learning judo, a nice defensive art, and later when he grows up he's going to learn Krav Maga and get a gun and start shooting people if he needs to defend this country, this land, the Jewish land, the land of Israel, where Jews and Judaism were born forever. Bye bye.